Have you ever noticed that the greatest stories, the ones that truly stick with us, tend to follow the same pattern? Think about Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, The Matrix, even classic myths like King Arthur or the Odyssey. They all share a structure, a deep psychological blueprint that resonates with something inside all of us. This isn't a coincidence. Joseph Campbell, a mythologist and scholar, spent his life studying myths, legends, and religious stories across different cultures. And what he found was something mind-blowing. All of these stories share the same universal structure, which he called the hero's journey. But why do these stories affect us so deeply? And more importantly, what can we learn from them? Because the hero's journey isn't just about fictional characters. It's about you, me, and every human being who has ever faced a challenge, transformed, and grown. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why we're drawn to these narratives, but you'll also learn how to use this pattern in your own life, to overcome struggles, find purpose, and become the hero of your own story. So, what is the hero's journey? The hero's journey is not just a storytelling template. It's a universal psychological structure that resonates deeply with the human experience. Joseph Campbell, in his groundbreaking work, The Hero with a Thousand Faces, identified a pattern in myths, stories, and religious texts from across the world. His research showed that every culture, throughout history, has told stories that follow a remarkably similar structure. In a way, this pattern seems built into us as humans. It mirrors the psychological journey of personal growth and transformation, which makes these stories so captivating and meaningful to us. But to fully understand why we connect with these stories, whether in a book, movie, or myth, it's important to break down the steps of the hero's journey and see how it applies not only to stories, but to our own lives. Let's explore the key stages of the hero's journey. 1. The ordinary world. The hero's journey begins with the ordinary world, where our protagonist is living a regular, everyday life. It's the world they know, their comfort zone, their routines, their known reality. But this stage isn't just about the setting. It represents the hero's internal state before the adventure begins. The ordinary world reflects where the hero is before they change. For example, think of Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. He starts on the desert planet of Tatooine, living a simple, uneventful life, dreaming of something more. This part is essential because it grounds the audience in what the hero is currently experiencing. We all know what it's like to feel stuck, like there must be more to life. 2. The call to adventure. The next stage is the call to adventure, which is the event or realization that disrupts the hero's ordinary world. This moment forces the hero to consider leaving their comfort zone and embarking on a journey that will change their life. In The Lord of the Rings, this is when Frodo Baggins is handed the One Ring and told of the mission to destroy it. The call to adventure may feel like an interruption, even an inconvenience. It's a wake-up call, a moment when the hero is presented with a choice. Do they continue living their comfortable, ordinary life, or do they step into the unknown? For us, the call to adventure happens when we realize that something in our life needs to change. Maybe it's a job that doesn't fulfill us or a relationship that isn't working. Sometimes it's a deeper, more personal realization, like wanting to be a better person or trying to fulfill a bigger dream. 3. Refusal of the call. While the call to adventure is exciting, it also comes with a deep fear of the unknown. Most heroes, just like us, experience a refusal of the call, where they hesitate or outright reject the journey at first. This is a natural reaction. Change is scary. It means leaving behind the familiar and facing what's uncertain. In The Lion King, Simba initially refuses to accept his role as king. He runs away from the responsibility that calls him. The refusal stage is essential in showing the hero's doubt and fear, because we all fear change. But this hesitation is part of the process. It's the internal conflict that sets the stage for the transformation that follows. 4th, meeting the mentor. At some point, the hero encounters a mentor, a wise figure who provides guidance, support, and encouragement. The mentor helps the hero prepare for the journey by offering wisdom, tools, or encouragement to move forward. In many stories, the mentor represents the part of us that knows we are capable of more, even if we don't believe it yet. Think of Gandalf in The Lord of the Rings or Yoda in Star Wars. These figures help the hero overcome their doubts and fears, teaching them valuable lessons and helping them build the courage to take the next step. 5. Crossing the threshold. The hero's journey truly begins when they cross the threshold, leaving their ordinary world and stepping into the unknown. This is the point of no return, where they commit to their adventure, and everything changes from this point onward. For instance, in The Matrix, Neo crosses the threshold when he takes the red pill, opening his eyes to a new, terrifying reality. There's no going back after that. Crossing the threshold symbolizes breaking out of the comfortable routine and taking that leap of faith. We all have moments when we have to make a choice, take that leap, and leave the security of the known behind. This stage represents that moment in our lives when we decide to make a change, however big or small. 6. Tests, allies, and enemies. Once the hero enters the new world, they encounter tests, allies, and enemies, situations, people, and challenges that help them grow, face fears, and learn essential lessons. These are the moments that define the hero's character and abilities. In Harry Potter, this is when Harry makes friends with Ron and Hermione, faces his first challenges at Hogwarts, and learns about the dark forces at work. This stage is crucial because it shows how we grow through our relationships and challenges. Our enemies are often not just external, they may also represent internal struggles like self-doubt or fear of failure. For us, the tests, allies, and enemies are part of the personal growth process. Every setback, every challenge, every failure is a chance to learn and grow stronger, just as every friend or mentor along the way offers support. 7. The approach to the inmost cave. The approach to the inmost cave is when the hero prepares for the most difficult challenge, the confrontation with their greatest fear, enemy, or struggle. This is the point where they begin to realize that their personal transformation is near completion, but they must still face their deepest, darkest conflict. In The Lion King, Simba approaches his father's grave and faces the memory of his father's death, a symbol of his personal failure. In our own lives, the inmost cave represents the hardest part of transformation, the moment we have to face our biggest fear or doubt. But it's only through facing this challenge that we can grow and change. 8. The ordeal. The ordeal is the hero's biggest test, the climactic moment of their journey. It's often a battle, a deep inner struggle, or a life-changing moment that forces the hero to confront their worst fears and make a difficult choice. In stories, the ordeal often comes with a sense of life and death stakes. This is when the hero faces their most difficult obstacle, and often the final test of their transformation. In real life, the ordeal is the moment we face our own personal demons, our doubts, fears, and failures. It's the hardest part of any major change, but it's also where the most growth happens. 9. The reward. After the ordeal, the hero receives their reward, whether it's a physical object, newfound wisdom, or a deeper understanding of themselves. The reward is the fruit of their hard work, transformation, and struggle. For Frodo, the reward is the knowledge that he's fulfilled his mission, despite the challenges. For you, the reward could be anything from overcoming a fear to gaining insight into who you really are. The reward isn't always tangible. It's the transformation that happens on the inside. 10. The road back. After obtaining the reward, the hero must make the return journey. But things aren't always smooth. The hero faces another challenge that tests everything they've learned. This stage is about applying the lessons of the journey to return to the ordinary world and integrate their transformation. 11th, resurrection. The resurrection is the final test, where the hero faces one last challenge that determines if they've truly transformed. It's the point where the hero proves they are no longer the person they were at the start. They emerge from the challenge wiser, stronger, and more capable. 12th, return with the elixir. Finally, the hero returns to the ordinary world, but they are changed. They bring with them the elixir, a gift, knowledge, or wisdom that can now help others. The journey ends with the hero giving back to the world in some meaningful way. The hero's journey is a powerful narrative framework But it's more than just a structure for stories. It's the blueprint of personal transformation. We go through our own versions of this journey all the time, whether we realize it or not. Each stage mirrors the challenges, growth, and victories we experience in our own lives. The hero's journey shows us that transformation is inevitable, and each one of us has the power to be the hero of our own story. By understanding this structure, we can better navigate our own life challenges and find the courage to keep moving forward. The hero's journey teaches us that growth is not just possible, it's part of our destiny. You might be asking yourself, why do we love hero stories? The reason these stories resonate so deeply isn't just because they're exciting. They reflect something much deeper, the universal human experience of growth and transformation. We all experience our own hero's journey in life. Every time we face a big challenge, whether it's starting a new job, going through heartbreak, overcoming self-doubt, or chasing a dream, we go through this cycle. The call to adventure, that's when life forces you to step out of your comfort zone. The ordeal, that's when you're struggling, doubting yourself, and facing setbacks. The reward, that's the wisdom and strength you gain from overcoming difficulties. The return with the elixir, that's when you come out the other side stronger and wiser, ready to share what you've learned with others. We love hero stories because they give us hope. They show us that struggle is part of growth, that fear is natural, and that transformation is possible for anyone, even us. Next, we'll look into the psychology behind the hero's journey. The hero's journey isn't just a storytelling framework, it's deeply rooted in human psychology. It reflects the way we think, grow, and change throughout life. Joseph Campbell's work wasn't just about mythology, it was about how stories mirror our own psychological transformation. But why do these stories resonate so deeply with us? What is it about the hero's journey that keeps us engaged, inspired, and even emotionally moved? The answer lies in how our minds process change, struggle, and personal growth. In this section, we'll explore the psychological principles behind the hero's journey and why we connect with it on such a deep level. 1. The hero's journey as a reflection of personal growth. At its core, the hero's journey is a universal metaphor for personal transformation. Every time we face a challenge, undergo change, or grow as individuals, we are living our own version of the hero's journey. When we leave home for the first time, start a new job, or enter a new phase in life, we are crossing the threshold. When we experience setbacks, failures, or self-doubt, we are facing our ordeal. When we overcome a struggle and learn something valuable, we have returned with the elixir. Psychologists often describe personal development as a journey that involves discomfort, resistance, and eventual growth. Just like in stories, real-life transformation is not linear. It involves struggles, breakthroughs, and setbacks. Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, believed that the hero's journey aligns closely with individuation, the process of becoming a fully realized individual. In simple terms, the hero's journey isn't just a story template, it's a blueprint for personal evolution. The first step is to ask yourself, what phase of the hero's journey am I in? Am I resisting a call to adventure? Am I facing a major challenge or transformation? Have I grown from my struggles? And am I ready to share my wisdom? 2. Why we connect emotionally with the hero's journey. Have you ever wondered why we feel deeply invested in movies or books that follow the hero's journey? Whether it's The Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, or The Matrix, these stories evoke strong emotions. Why? Because our brains are wired for storytelling. Psychologists have found that stories help us make sense of the world. Our brains release dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to motivation and pleasure, when we experience engaging stories. A powerful story can make us feel fear, excitement, triumph, and even personal reflection. Here's why the hero's journey triggers strong emotions. We relate to the hero's struggles because we too have faced doubts, setbacks, and fears. We root for the hero because we see ourselves in their journey. We experience catharsis. When the hero overcomes obstacles, it gives us hope that we can too. Psychologists call this narrative transportation. When a person becomes emotionally absorbed in a story, This is why movies, myths, and books can have such a powerful impact on our emotions, beliefs, and even our personal growth. In essence, the hero's journey mirrors our psychological experiences. That's why it feels personal, even when the hero's story is set in a galaxy far, far away. 3. The role of fear and resistance in the hero's journey. One of the key elements of the hero's journey is resistance to change. When the hero refuses the call to adventure, this mirrors our own fear of change. When the hero faces obstacles, this represents our struggles with self-doubt. When the hero reaches their breaking point, it reflects the moments we feel like giving up. From a psychological perspective, resistance happens because our brains crave certainty and stability. Change is uncomfortable. Our minds perceive uncertainty as a threat, even when the change could be good for us. This is why people often struggle to break out of bad habits, leave toxic relationships, or step outside their comfort zones. The brain prefers the familiar over the unknown. However, just like the hero, we can learn to overcome fear and resistance. The hero's journey teaches us that transformation requires struggle. Growth only happens when we step beyond what is comfortable. A great example of this is Frodo in The Lord of the Rings. He doesn't want the responsibility of carrying the One Ring. He is afraid, but through his journey, he grows into a different person, capable of doing things he never thought possible. This mirrors our own inner journey, learning to trust ourselves, face challenges, and push through fear. 4. The shadow and the hero's journey. Carl Jung's influence. Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow self, the parts of ourselves that we suppress, reject, or fear. In the hero's journey, the hero often faces an enemy or dark force, but this enemy is often a reflection of their own inner struggles. For example, Luke Skywalker battles Darth Vader, only to discover that Vader is his father, symbolizing the darkness within himself and the recognition that he too can become like his father, depending on his choices. Harry Potter faces Voldemort, who represents his fear of power and destiny. Simba must face Scar, who represents the guilt he carries from his past. In The Matrix, Neo must believe in himself to become the One. In psychological terms, the villain represents the parts of the hero and ourselves that they must confront and integrate. We all have a shadow self, the doubts, fears, and weaknesses that hold us back. True transformation happens when we acknowledge and integrate these parts of ourselves rather than running from them. This is why the hero's journey often has a death and rebirth moment, a point where the hero must die in some way, metaphorically, to become their true self. 5. The return and the wisdom of the hero. The final stage of the hero's journey is the return, when the hero comes back to their world, transformed. But this part isn't just about the hero, it's about bringing wisdom back to the community. The hero doesn't keep the lessons to themselves, they share what they've learned. Moses comes back from Mount Sinai with the 10 Commandments. Buddha reaches enlightenment and teaches others. Neo in The Matrix returns as the One, seeing reality for what it is. In psychological terms, this stage represents self-actualization, the process of using personal growth to impact others. In real life, this could mean sharing your experiences to help others, teaching lessons from your struggles, inspiring those who are still on their journey. The hero's journey is not just personal, it's about how our transformation can benefit the world around us. So why does all of this matter? Because you are the hero of your own story. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly going through your own hero's journey. Every challenge, every fear, every major life change is part of your path. The key takeaways are: change is scary but necessary. Fear is part of growth. You will face setbacks, but obstacles are where transformation happens. You are stronger than you think. Just like the heroes in stories, you have more potential than you realize. Your journey is meaningful. Your struggles, lessons, and growth can impact others. The next time you watch a movie, read a book, or reflect on your own life, remember, the hero's journey is not just a story, it's a map for your personal growth. The question is, will you step into your hero's journey, or will you refuse the call? The choice is yours. Next, we will give you some pointers on how you can use this in your life. 1. Recognize when you're at a call to adventure moment. Maybe you're unhappy with your job. Maybe you've outgrown certain friendships. Maybe you feel stuck. This is your call to adventure. Don't ignore it. 2. Expect resistance. Your refusal of the call. Change is scary. Fear will tell you to stay where it's safe. But heroes don't grow by staying in the ordinary world. 3. Find your mentors. Every hero has guidance. Look for wisdom, whether it's from books, teachers, mentors, or even past experiences. 4. Step into the unknown. Growth happens outside of comfort zones. The hardest step is often just starting. 5. Embrace struggle as part of the journey. The ordeal is where most people quit, but struggle means you're growing. Keep going. 6. Reflect on what you've gained. Every hardship teaches you something. What wisdom will you bring back to your world? 7. Help others on their journey. The final step isn't just personal growth, it's sharing what you've learned. Just like the hero returns with the elixir, your growth can inspire and help others. So next time you watch a movie, read a book, or hear a myth, pay attention. You'll see the hero's journey everywhere. But more importantly, pay attention to your own life. Right now, you're in the middle of your own adventure. Maybe you're at the beginning, maybe you're in the struggle, or maybe you're returning with wisdom. Wherever you are, remember, you are the hero of your own story. And if you're facing challenges right now, just know, this is just part of the journey. The best part is yet to come. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. Thanks for watching, and remember, your journey is just beginning. See you in the next video.